Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today a couple of you have asked to see more in depth of, the brushes that I use, why I use them, and more in depth of the products that I use. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. And also a bunch of you wanted to see kind of a bridal look. So this is kind of inspiration for maybe what I'll do on my wedding day. I'm getting married in October, for those of you that don't know. If you want to see how I created this look, just stay tuned. Okay. Get this started. Helps if you're looking in the camera. And I've not primed or anything, so I will go through all of that with you. I like to use the Smashbox Love Ritual Primer Water. I tried to look for this in my last video and link it down below, and I could not find this exact one. But they do have ones that are very similar to this. I just really like the scent of this one. Ooh. People were asking me about is this Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. I live and die for this stuff. The smell is just out of this world. I love this stuff, and honestly I've not found a primer other than this one that really fills in my pores and doesn't just make me an oil slick. I live and die for this stuff. Now a good dupe for this, if you don't, because I think this one's like $50 some, $54, something like that. It's expensive. This is a really, really good alternative. This is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Do I think it's the exact same? No, I don't. I do think the Tatcha one is a little better, but this one is a really, really good alternative. Smells great. Not as good as the Tatcha one, but it performs very, very well. And I like to take this and just really warm it up in my fingers before I apply it. And then I just put it all over. Normally, I do things kind of backwards on myself than I do on a bride or a bridesmaid or whomever that I'm doing makeup on as a service, as a makeup artist. Normally, I always start with their eyes first so I can wipe away any fallout. It's just become a lot easier for me that way. Now, for myself personally, I start with my foundation. That's just how I've always done it. That's how I like to do it. I put excess translucent powder under my eyes to catch any fallout that I just wipe away at the end. I don't typically do that for brides or photo shoots or anything like that, because I do feel like the excess translucent powder can give you that flashback that we really don't want. I do this on myself. I'm not going to be in any photo shoots or anything like that. I might do it differently, like how I do on a client for my wedding day, but I'm on quarantine, y'all. I ain't going nowhere. I'm not going to be in any pictures. I've already dampened my beauty sponge. This is the Morphe beauty sponge. I really enjoy the Real Techniques one as well. This is just the one I had sitting out right now. And this is the Estee Lauder Stay in Place Double Wear Makeup. I used to work for Estee Lauder. I have used this stuff for years and years, and it has never failed me. This is my ride or die, tried and true foundation. I love, love, love this stuff. If you're really dry, you probably won't like it. I'm literally an oil slick, so this is the best thing that I can put on my face, I'm telling you. One thing I do wish that Estee Lauder would do is that they would sell these with a pump. I know you can go and buy a pump for these now. I don't want to do that. I want it to be sold with a pump. I do a pretty thin layer. I like a full coverage foundation, and Double Wear is a full coverage foundation, so I don't really have to worry about it being too sheer. But I do like to go through with a sheer layer at first and then build it up. So if I feel like I need to add more in spaces, I can after I get the first layer done. Because I have some breakout. I am a super hormonal / stress breakouter. Obviously, with having to shut down my salon and being on quarantine and all this crap that's going on, I'm extremely stressed out. So my face is not very happy with me. I hope everybody is holding up okay with all this crap that's going on in the world right now. I hope you guys are staying home. Good God, I'm about to lose my mind seeing all these people out having parties and get-togethers and all kinds. It's like, stay home. The sooner you stay home, the sooner I get to go back to work. Well, we won't get started on that because I could go and go for hours. And nobody wants that. So here we are. So I have my foundation on. We are going to go through and do concealer now. Honestly, for my last video, I'm going to use pretty much the same product. There's going to be some products that are different, but these are my go-to products. These are my tried and true ones, the ones that I love for my skin. I'm going in with the Tarte Shape Tape Contour Concealer in the shade Light. I just throw that in my under eyes. And then I also like to throw a little bit in between my eyebrows, down the center of my nose, Cupid's bow, my chin, and I also like to take a little on the creases of my nose. With my foundation, if it's gonna break up anywhere, it's gonna break up right here. So I like to throw concealer there and then set it with some extra powder just to keep it from creasing. Or just go through with that same beauty sponge and pounce that out. Now the reason I put concealer in the middle of my face and down my nose, kind of down the center of my face, is to bring light to the face, because that's where you would normally have brightness to your face. It just makes it look more natural and more skin-like. So now that I have my concealer on, I'm gonna take the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder for Under Eyes. So I just take my damp beauty sponge and dip it in there and set my under eyes before I set anything else, because they are the first things to crease on me. And I'm now going to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills Loose Setting Powder in the shade Vanilla to set all the other areas of my face. And I'm using the same beauty sponge that I have been from the beginning. Okay, we are matte. What I like to do after I get everything set with translucent powder is I like to go ahead and set my base. I set my face twice. So my first set, I use this. And I like to really let that sit. Normally I have a fan, but it's at the salon and I don't have it. We'll use a palette. So now I'm gonna go in and prime my eyes. I'm gonna use the Smashbox 24-Hour Photo Finish Shadow Primer. I don't think it has a shade or anything. It's just one very little bit. And just throw that on my eyelid. And a lot of people say you don't have to set these with powder either. However, I do feel like if I don't, I get immediate creasing. And maybe it's just my eyes, I don't know. So I put it on both of my eyes, and then I go through and just grab like a skin colored eyeshadow and just set this in place. I really like to use, to set this, the Morphe x Jeffree Star palettes and use the shade Lynn. It's a very neutral, bright, skin colored color. Okay, and I use the Morphe, for the most part on myself, Morphe Jaclyn Hill brushes. I do love them. All of the brushes I use, with the exception of one, maybe two, are all Morphe brushes. I love Morphe. They're amazing quality. They don't break the bank, and they've held up on me forever. Like I said, I'm a professional makeup artist. I use these all the time, and they have not done me wrong. My Morphe Jaclyn Hill ones are my personal ones. I don't use these on clients. They are mine, but Morphe has these pretty much exact same brushes if you don't want to get the Jaclyn Hill ones. However, I do recommend them. They're white and they're beautiful and I love them. So I'm using the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill, the JH30, to set my shadow primer. And it's just a real fluffy blending brush. And now that that is set, now is the time when I will go in with excess translucent powder to catch any fallout and just kind of do a little bit of baking. So I start here at the corner of my eye and just stamp it outward. And then I also come down below my eye as well and just kind of bake all of your concealer. But don't be scared to put a crap ton on there. You want a lot, because if you have a shadow that has a lot of fallout, you want that translucent powder to be there to create a barrier in between the eyeshadow and your foundation, so you can just wipe it away. And that way you don't have a muddy mess and have to start over. I like to bake my nose where I get creasing. I also like to bake my forehead because Carly doesn't have Botox, even though I would love some. I got wrinkles. And I also like to carve out my chin A lot of times I will do this after I contour, but sometimes I do beforehand and I think it works just as well. I don't do a lot of contouring anyway. I think it's pure laziness, to be honest. I'll throw a little bit on my chin as well. And I like to take that sharp edge of my beauty sponge and just kind of go down the center of my nose as well. Just like that. We're looking cute. This is normally when my fiance comes in, he's like, what are you doing? It'll be pretty, I promise. I think. I don't know. My go-to eyeshadow palette for anything bridal is the original, the OG Jaclyn Hill palette. Jaclyn Hill palette. The colors in this thing are just amazing. The blendability of it is amazing. I love this palette and I will never not love this palette. And as long as it's available to me, I will continue to repurchase it because I love it that much. Okay, zoomed you in. Hello. Let's get started on these eyes. My brushes are dirty. Don't come for me. These are my personal brushes. I don't use these on clients. They're dirty. I didn't have time to clean them. And I didn't have 12 hours to wait for them to dry. So here we are. It's fine. I'm going in with, like I said, the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm going in with the shade Silk Cream. I pop this in my crease. This is my transition shade, and I'm using a JH32. This is just a fluffy blending brush, and I take that all the way up to my brow bone, concentrating most of the product in my crease and just slowly bringing it upward. Start off in your crease, get most of that product down and off of the brush, and then just diffuse it upward. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the shade right next to that, which is called MFEO. I'm going to be going in with a Morphe R35. It's also just a fluffy blending brush. It has a little bit more of a blunt edge. Honestly, that doesn't really matter to me if it's tapered or not. And I just go right over top of the color that I just put down. I'm just trying to build that up and give the eye a little bit of depth, and also just to give it a smooth transition with a little bit denser of a brush. Oh no, this one doesn't have any markings on it. I can't tell you what it is. I have worn off a lot of the markings on these brushes. Me taking a JH31. It's just another fluffy blending brush. I'm going to mix together the shades. I have to check them again. Butter and Pooter. Just dip into both of them, tap off the excess, and this time I'm going just a little bit lower in my crease. And once I deposit all that product, I go ahead and just kind of flick out my edges and bring it up to meet the other colors as well, so there is that smooth transition. So now I'm going to go in, I'm using a JH35, another blending brush, and I'm going to go in with the shade Buns. And just throw that kind of right over top of that last color that we did, right in the crease. And I'm like barely touching my eye, hardly putting any pressure, and concentrating mostly on the outer corner, but also bringing a little bit into the inner corner, just not quite as much. I want to focus most of the depth out here on my outer corner. Now I'm going to grab a little bit denser of a brush. I literally have my brushes just kind of thrown everywhere. It's a mess. In this, God, this brush is chewed up. It has seen better days. This is not one of the Jaclyn Hill ones, and honestly, I can't tell you what number it is, what kind of brush it is, because it's not on there anymore. Honestly, I don't think it was printed on there to begin with. But it's just a dense, there it goes, just a dense eyeshadow brush. But I love to use this for colors on the outer corner. So I'm going to go in with the shade Central Park, and I'm probably going to mix in a little bit of Soda Pop with it. Central Park is a very deep brown, and Soda Pop is almost kind of like a cherry cola-ish color. It's not quite black, it's kind of like a purpley black. I don't know, I love this shade. And I like to just slowly kind of build it up out here in my outer corner, going up to my crease. And I don't really like, I go through and do little back and forth windshield wiper motions, but for the most part, I just really like to pack the product on there just to try to get as much payoff as I can. And don't be scared whenever you put this on. You're gonna be like, you know, looking at that, you're like, oh my god, that looks crazy. Once you start going in with other colors and really start to blend, it's going to blend that out, and it's going to almost fade away a little bit. So don't be scared to go in with your darker colors. Okay, so now that we've gotten to this point, I'm going to take any fluffy blending brush. I'm gonna use one that I've already used, the JH35, and I'm gonna go in with a little bit lighter of a brown. So I'm gonna use shade Mocha and diffuse this line that's out here. So I'm just gonna go right over top of it, and very lightly. I'm hardly touching my face with this brush, and just bring it upward and kind of diffuse it. And another thing I like to do is just to grab just an empty blending brush, just a tapered blending brush. And I don't have any product on this. And I'm just gonna go through and blend the entire eye. So now I'm going to be taking a JH41. It is just kind of like a, you can use it as a concealer brush. It's just like a tapered packing brush. And I'm going to wet it down. I'm going to use my Morphe setting spray and spray the brush. And I get it pretty wet. And I tap off any excess setting spray, and I'm going to go in with a mixture of two shades. I'm going to use Obsessed and SBN in that same Jaclyn Hill palette, and just go kind of back and forth between the two, packing it on both sides of my brush. And we're just going to place this on our inner corner and up pretty much on the whole inner half of the lid, all the way up to that crease. And this does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be pretty. Just get the shade on there and get it to the color that you want. And then take that same empty blending brush that we just used before and just go in that crease and diffuse that line. Just back and forth windshield wiper motions. And then also here where that shimmery shade meets that dark shade you put on your outer corner. Just back and forth to blend those and mesh those together. So now I'm just gonna take, we're not done with the eyes yet. I'm just gonna take a large fluffy blending brush. This is the JH01. It's just very fluffy, dense brush, and just wipe away that excess powder. And one thing I like about doing the powder under my eyes there, you can be messy with your eyeshadow and it still carves that out, which I love. So this is the point that I like to go through and do my under eye. I am going to be using the JH40. It's just a smaller tapered blending brush. It's much smaller than the blending brushes we were using before for the upper eye. So I'm gonna go through with pretty much the same shades that I used on the top of the eye and do the same thing on the bottom for the most part. So I'm gonna use those transition shades, pop those on the under eye. I like to hold a mirror up and look up for this because I do have creasing in my under eyes, and that kind of keeps it from getting messy and allows me to get in the creases and put eyeshadow there. And I bring this pretty far down. And I also like to marry it with my outer corner over here. So then I like to take, this is the JH38, and it is a denser pencil brush. And I like to take more of my brown shades. So I'm going to take that shade Mocha and a little bit of the shade Buns. And I'm not going to bring it all the way in. I'm just gonna kind of stop about 3/4 of the way in and just buff that in. So now I'm going to take a flat brush. This is the JH43. It is just a flat brush. And I'm gonna take those darker colors that we put on the if I could focus. Those dark colors that we put on the outer corner, I'm gonna use this flat brush to do kind of like an eyeliner on the bottom. I'm not gonna go in the waterline. I'm just gonna go right at the corner of that waterline and kind of stamp this, and only about half the way over. I wanna make sure you can see too, but I have to see too. Just stamp that in there. It stopped recording. Rude, rude. Okay, so this is what we should have right now. A lot of times when I wear this look, I go in with a white eyeliner or like a skin color eyeliner. This is the MAC Studio Chromographic Pencil in NC15, which I did not see this on the website. I think they might have gotten rid of this, which really makes me sad. But honestly, I think for my wedding day, I will probably use black or brown. I don't know. Maybe we'll do brown today and see how we feel about it. I just feel like, I don't know, because I wear so much makeup, I kind of gravitate more towards the darker liners, and I can't even find a brown liner. We're gonna use black. I've decided. So this is the Morphe Eye Kohl in Dark Room. This is just their black. I'm just gonna throw that in my waterline. So I also like to take my eyeliner and tight line the waterline of my upper eyelid. I just lift my lashes up and throw some eyeliner in there. And for my upper eyeliner, I like to use a gel eyeliner. A lot of times I will go in and use a liquid eyeliner just because it's faster, but for something like my wedding, I will use a gel eyeliner. This is the best gel eyeliner that I have found. This is the Maybelline New York Eye Studio Blackest Black. It's a gel eyeliner pot. That's what it looks like when you take the cap off. It's just gel eyeliner. And I like to use an angled eyeliner brush. This is a Morphe one as well. It doesn't have a number on it, but it's just an angled eyeliner brush. And what I like to do is I go through and just get a good amount. I get a good amount on my brush. Get you a good little chunk there, and then I like to take a tissue and get that chunk of eyeliner on there, and I'll just work from this, coating both sides of the brush. And I like to do a wing eyeliner. So I start in the corner and just lightly bring it out. And whenever you feel like you're running out of product, just go back into your little clump that you have on your tissue and get you some more. Just like that. Okay, I'm gonna finish the other eye off of camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have the eyeliner on and I'm gonna go through and do my brows. I like to use a combination of things for my brows. I go through with the Anastasia Brow Wiz in medium brown, and then I go through with their Dip Brow Gel in medium brown. And I will do really kind of just like the outer corner with the Dip Brow Gel, but I'll do the pencil first. So I'll show you how I do one eye and then I'll do the other off of camera. So I just lightly fill that in. I'm mostly outlining more than anything. And then I do that front corner with just like little brush strokes. And then I will brush the product through using the spoolie. And this is where I like to go in with the Dip Brow Gel. And mostly just on the corners. Add this. It just kind of deepens up the brow a little bit. And I also feel like it lasts a little bit longer. I'm gonna go throw the other one on off of camera and I'll be right back. So now we're gonna do some mascara. I don't give a shit about mascara, to be honest. I used to be like a Lancome, ride or die. I will only use Lancome mascaras. I don't really care. I use cheap ones because I feel like they do the same thing. And quite honestly, most of the time I'm putting falsies on or I have lash extensions, so I don't even wear mascara. If I am gonna wear mascara, I use the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. So I just do a thin coat of this. So while that's drying, we're gonna do the rest of our face. I like to powder contour. I don't really care for cream contour. That's just my personal preference. This is the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I use the shade Sombre down there at the bottom. It's not too warm, it's not too cool. And for contour for my cheeks, I use the JH05. It's just like this domed, it almost kind of looks like a blush brush in a sense, but it just fits in that curvature of your cheek perfectly. And I like to buff this upwards into my hairline just to give the most seamless effect, and just so you don't have this stripe of contour right there. I like to throw a little up on my temples as well and bring it into the center. Go through with bronzer. I use the Marc Jacobs Tantastic Omega bronzer, and this is the Coconut Perfect Tan one. And I'm going to use the JH02. It's just a fluffy, kind of like an oblong brush. And I just go right above that contour on my cheekbones and up into my hairline. So go through pretty much the same places that you contoured. So this is the Jouer Rose Gold Blush Duo. I mixed the two together. They're beautiful. And I'm using a tapered blush brush. This is the JH04. It's just a tapered blush brush, and go in an upward motion. And I do bring some on my temples as well, right up here. And now I like to do just some very, very subtle highlighting. This highlighter is not like wha-bam. I wouldn't use it to highlight my cheekbones or anything like that. I like to put it on like the apples of my cheeks and the center of my face, just to bring a little bit more light to those areas. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. Very subtle highlight. It's nothing crazy. And I use this JH06. It's not a dense brush. It almost kind of looks like that blush brush. It just kind of gives you that glow from within. Is it Lash Time? I think it's Lash Time. These are the Ardell Wispies, the original feathered lash with Invisiband. I'm gonna pop those on off of camera and I'll be right back. So I'm gonna use that Urban Decay De-Slick setting spray and just douse my whole face. This is the Morphe R36 brush. It's just a highlighting brush. Highlight my cheekbones. My Cupid's bow. This is the JH42. It's almost just like a baby concealer brush, baby packing brush. And just throw that under my brow. And I also take that and put it on my inner corner as well. These are the Patrick Ta Silky Lip Cream, the shade She's Unapologetic. I'm going to style my hair and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do this fast because my battery is about to die on me, but this is the finished look. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave. It really helps me out and I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for watching, and please drop in the comments below what you would like to see from me, whether it be more makeup or hair styling videos. Obviously, I'm not in the salon, so I can't do color videos. I've been trying to vlog. Yeah, I'm still working on that. I'm trying to figure that out. Thank you so much for being here. Like and subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.